boy Jerome from JeromeWilderFitness.com, and I got the homie Shay. Alright, so in this video, we're gonna just go over a few warm-up movements for the legs. We're gonna go over some leg workouts, and she's the expert. I'm gonna be following her lead because I'm not proficient when it comes to leg exercises at all. She's an expert. She's Captain Legs. Alright, that's what we're gonna call her. So let's get into the video.
Alright, so your first three movements will warm up your legs to get you going for a leg day. The first one will be an inchworm walk to activate your hamstrings, your core, and your shoulders. All three things that you need in every exercise that you perform. So you want your legs to be straight. If you're unable to keep them straight, a soft bend in your knees is perfectly fine. So shoulders are down and back, the pelvis is tucked under for a neutral back. And all you're doing is walking your palms out until you're in a plank position. So make sure your shoulders are stacked over your palms. After you reach this position, you're gonna walk your palms back to start and stand up. That is one rep. You're doing that for 5 to 10, depending on how you feel.
What does that work?
So it's gonna work your hamstrings, your core, your shoulders. It's gonna get your blood flowing before you start. Okay? So let's do it again to practice the technique. Again, keeping your legs straight, your shoulders are rolled down, your core is tight, high plank. You're gonna walk those palms back. All right, your next movement will be something called gorilla squats. Now this is a hip opener. It's not scary, but it's super fun to do. It's crucial. It's gonna open up your hips and it's gonna activate your inner thighs, your adductors, which is key for squats. All right, so all you're doing is, again, shoulders are down and back, core is tight, legs are somewhat straight. You're bending over, reaching your toes, and you're sitting into a squat position. Coming back up. If you're unable to do this, it's okay. You can do a good morning too.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
So you can do a good morning exercise and just continue to warm up those hamstrings. The more you warm up your hamstrings, the easier your squats will feel. And if you have knee problems, then definitely mobilize those hamstrings first. All right, so the next movement will be a dynamic stretch. It's called leg swings. So
what's the dynamic stretch?
So a dynamic stretch versus a static stretch. So you want to be doing a static stretch after you're done training. It's where you hold each stretch for 20 to 30 seconds. A dynamic stretch is you're continuously moving throughout the stretch and you're not holding it because it's not safe prior to exercise. All right, so your dynamic leg swings. You want to swing your leg up, but reach for your toes. Touch your toes if you can. You don't have to. And just perform 10 per side. You feel a nice stretch in those hips and your legs overall. Again, don't roll over too much, but maintain that proper posture. So all you're doing, yeah, try to touch the wall, but there's no wall. All right, so your last one will be toe touches. I'm sorry, I lied. It's not your last one. All right, toe touches. So again, you're in a high plank position, shoulders stacked over your palms, your feet are hip width apart. You're coming in and reaching for your toes and coming back into that high plank position. Make sure those shoulders are stacked over your palms and your core is super tight. We're doing this for 20 in total. Again, you don't need any weights at all. You just need your body to warm yourself up. All right, Jerome is not done. It's done.
So why is this important? Why is it important to do like a warm-up before just hopping into the leg?
So this will prevent injury. This will make sure that the blood is flowing in all the right areas before you attack those specific areas. It's super important to mock the exercises that you will be doing before you go heavy. That makes sense, all right? So since we're doing legs today, let's start doing the movements that we're going to be loading during the session. So your first one is a body weight squat. We're doing speed squats for 20 reps, as fast as you can. So shoulders back, chest tall, don't let your gaze fall. Keep your knees pushed out. Don't let your knees cave in, but keep them pushed out. And we're just gonna go for 20. All right, as fast as you can, as low as you can. We're just warming up those legs before we load them with some weights. All right, so after you do a full 20, your last one before we dive into it is a swing lunge. So it's a forward and backward lunge. So shoulders are down and back, core is tight. That will always be your set position for every exercise exercise that you perform. So we're coming in forward, 90-degree angle with each leg, and swing it back. Again, holding that 90-degree position with each leg. If you're unable to swing back and forth, you can also pause and then swing back. We're doing this for 5 to 10 reps.
Which exercise was this one called?
The swing lunge.
Swing lunge, okay.
Depending on how you feel, you can do 5 to 10. And that will be the warm-up before we dive in. If you're sweating,
That was just a warm-up?
That's it.
Oh, you're kidding me. Let's go. That was just a warm-up. If you're tired already, just know that we just started. You're not done yet. Just got into it. All right.
So we're going to dive into some compounds. So these are 3 primary compounds that I do or incorporate in every leg day. The first one will be a goblet squat. So all you will do, grab a weight of your choice based on your comfort level, of course. Wrap the weight underneath your chin, shoulders are back. Don't let your gaze fall. Keep your chin tucked, knees are moving out. You're pushing your hips back and traveling as low as you can. Tuck your bum under as you travel up. We're driving through the soles of our feet. Okay? So never drive while your chest is falling and your hips are too pushed back, because that will compromise your back, it'll compromise your form overall. So keep your eyes ahead, chest proud, bum back, knees out. 4 top cues for a squat pattern. All right, so your next movement will be a split squat. Now this is considered to be an isolation exercise, but it's also considered to be a compound exercise because you do require your core strength, your shoulders, and all of your legs to perform it. So wrap the weight again underneath your chin, split stance. Now to understand split stance, just make sure your back toe is diagonal to your front heel. We're traveling again at a 90-degree angle, and we're pushing through our front leg. Make sure your back leg isn't doing any of the work. We're driving through the front heel and contracting that front quadricep. We're doing 8 per leg, depending on how you feel.
So, sorry, for the people, like, how many sets is it that we, so you're saying 8 reps, how many sets should they normally do?
So it should be 3 by 8, 3 sets of 8 per leg, 4 sets of 8 per leg, or 3 sets of 12 per leg. It just depends on your goals and how perfect your technique is, or how sound your technique is.
Yeah, as long as you listen to her, the expert, your technique is going to be very sound.
If you feel like your technique isn't sound, you can start off with 3 by 12, body weight only, and just practice the movement so your body gets a feel for it before you load the exercise. Now the last one will be a single-legged deadlift. Now you can use 2, but I like doing a single leg exercise just to even out the strength in each of my leg. If you find your right leg is stronger than your left, it's very common, so that's why it's crucial to do a unilateral or single-legged exercise.
Wait, what fancy word? What was unilateral?
Unilateral basically means you're using one limb at a time.
This is why she's here, because all these words are all new to me.
So unilateral versus bilateral. Unilateral means you're using one limb at a time to balance out the strength. Bilateral means you're using both limbs simultaneously at the same time, okay? All right, so single-legged deadlift, shoulders down and back, chest proud. That's your set position for every exercise. Keep the weight, so load the leg that you're using.
What if people don't have a walk?
Well, you should hold on to something if you're unable to balance yourself. If you have that core strength, you might not need to hold on to anything, which is great. I'm going to hold on to something so I don't fall. So shoulders are down and back, you're hinging at your hips. Soft bend in your knees, you're coming all the way down to your shins. You're keeping that weight close to your leg, so it's not that hard for you to come up. The further away the weight is, the more you're compromising your technique and your back. So keep the weight glued to your legs, slide it down your shins, and use your hamstrings, your glutes, and your core to draw it back up. Make sure your shoulders are out of your ears, so roll your shoulders down and engage those lats. So this is why it's a compound exercise, because it requires more than one area for you to perform the movement.
Oh, so what are the areas?
So single-legged exercise, you need to incorporate some shoulder retraction, so keep your shoulders retracted and out of your ears, so that allows you to engage the lats. You're using your lower back, you're using your glutes, you're using your hands to come back up. Okay? So it's not just one area that you're using to come back up, but you need all of your posterior chain to drive back up, which makes it a compound exercise.
Awesome. Let's go.
Yeah.
Awesome. So guys, you definitely want to check her out. Listen to her. She is an expert when it comes to strength training. You know, if you're somebody who's already in good shape, already strong, you want to get to the next level, she's definitely someone that you want to talk to. Now guys, if you like this video, please drop a like, leave a comment below, and subscribe so we can spread the message of good health and fitness. Alright? Peace.